Great leaping horny toads. Look at this. This has got to be the cleanest 64 Princeton that I have ever laid eyes on. Oh, I just got a knot in my knickers. I'm sorry. Anyways, wow. This is a real transition model. I'll show you a little more about it. I'm going to take it. It's just in. I didn't even plug it in yet. It's humming like crazy. Customer complained. I told him to teach it the song. He didn't like that advice. That's a good one. I never heard that before. Anyways, I'm going to look into this. I didn't plug it in yet. I may fire it up on my trusty Variac just to see what the hum is he's talking about. But I may not too. I may just test out the tubes first and see if the heart is actually beating. But before I do that, I'm just going to go around this thing and you just don't come across something this clean, this old, this often. All right, if that looks interesting, hang tough. We're going to document the whole thing. Let me just go over this a little bit closer. Look at this. Jeez. Just amazing. Not a mark, not a ding, not a scratch anywhere. Really nice. I mean, it looks like that's the worst of it right there. There's some more corrosion. I mean, I've seen stuff like this when I was a kid, but I haven't seen anything like this in quite a few years. Anyways, and it's got the 6G2. I'm gonna pop this open and verify that. I've printed out the schematic. So, God, look at how clean that is. Nice. All right, little look inside the cabinet. Look, they even stamped it. 64. It's just gorgeous. And got a CTS speaker in here, which I've never seen listed as one of the ones for this model. I've seen Oxford's, Jensen. This was definitely a interesting model here. Anyways, let's take a look at the chassis. This chassis is just stupidly clean. Look at that. 606 4, 6th week, 64. Over here, this one looks like it says 606 20th week of 64. And yeah, got all the tubes look original and intact. Get some RCAs. All right. Thoroughly gorgeous and unmolested. So, customer complaining about humming. Once again, I'm going to replace these. I mean, you know, those, they look good, I bet, but who knows? Looks can be deceiving. The rest of the stuff is going to stay just the way it is for now. Also, I'm going to replace that. That's definitely got to go. And rebuild this bias. And get rid of this death cap and this faulty, incorrectly wired stuff, and also this cable. This cable, the outside of this cable, man, I swear this one feels stiff, and it may be cracked. I'm not going to test it. Another nice 1964, and AK, whoever that is, signed it. That's pretty cool. Alrighty. Rest of this looks pretty damn good. I'm going to follow this circuit and compare it to the 6G2 and make sure that that is what we're looking at. Alrighty, onward. Jeez, I've never seen an amp this. I mean, look at that. Those are like little solder spatters. I mean, it doesn't take more than a couple of jostles to knock that stuff loose. Look at this over here. There's like pieces of insulation, whatever, more solder spatters. This is dust from the factory. That's dust from the factory right there. Amazing. Amazing. All right, carry. All right, I got the AC wiring going on here. For those of you that never seen one of my, or Uncle Doug's videos, Uncle Doug does this a lot. Your black wire is hot, comes in, goes to the tip of the fuse. I left this original wire here. From the fuse, goes to the switch, and then to the transformer. The white wire comes in and just connects back to the transformer. That's all. Of course, I'm going to lay these a little better. How about like that? That's better. And the green wire just goes to ground. The switch is deactivated, death cap removed. Let me tuck that a little better. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so the death cap's removed. I didn't want it floating around in there, shorting out on this rectifier. It's kind of close quarters here. So I just completely removed it. And I'll tuck it in a baggie for the owner to puzzle over. And yeah, onward. So here's the schematic I printed out, and I was just going over to see if I did actually have a 6G2, which I do, for the most part. So I've checked, I traced it. The only difference that I've found so far is that right here, you get two 220s connected to, 0.1, the intensity pot, you got an O2 there, and I located them, and they're, let's say I located one of them rather, right here. So there's your 220 peeking out right here. Sorry, right here. But here, and this is original, is a 1 meg. So, I don't know. It's definitely different than, but everything else, and I'm going to just leave it because they may have, I don't know enough about this stuff to know why they might have done that, if it's a mistake or an update, or maybe the schematic was an improvement. I'm not going to try to replace that with a 220. I'm just going to leave it the way it is and puzzle it out, but I doubt highly I'm going to replace that. If it was my amp, I would do that, but I'm leaving that the way it is. So that's so far the only, and I've looked at everything else on the schematic, and this is the only discrepancy so far that I can see after a quick look over. I know there's going to be people out there pointing out, oh man, this is wrong, that's, oh. Yeah, well, anyways. I basically didn't check every resistor. I did check every cap. and some of the resistors, you know, I didn't minutely go over every resistor, but pretty close. I think I so far went over about 80–90% of them. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is, and when I get the parts in, I'm going to put those in and fire it up, see what happens. While I was waiting for parts, I thought I'd slowly run it up on my Variac just to hear what the sound was like. And so here I am cranking it up. It's at about not even 100 volts, and it's starting that. So I'm going to turn that back down. That sounds to me like filter caps. So, not good. I'm waiting on the filter caps, and I'll proceed onward with the install. And I like my ESR meter. I think this is probably one of the worst cap cans I've ever seen. So I'm going from ground to any of them. I'm getting absolutely nothing. There's the first one. Oh, sorry, let me get these wires out of the way. Okay. First one, nothing. Second one, nothing. This is checking to ground, between ground and the capacitor. Nothing on any of them. Here's the weird thing. When I hook the two together, I get this weird reading on just these two. There's some kind of short going on in here or something. I don't know if it's a short, but this can is not functioning the way it should be. So that's, I'm pretty sure, the source of that horrific buzzing that's going on, because you're getting, you know, you're getting no filtration. So anyway, parts on order. I'm going to heat up my big trusty giant iron and remove this sucker now. When I get the new can, I'll show you the comparison between a new one, working good one, and this excrescence on the electrolytic capacitor horizon. Alrighty, got that old faulty electrolytic can out of there, and now I wait patiently for the new part to come in. Just a note, I'm not doing this at my home shop. Yes, I work for Guitar Center, and I do some amp repair here. I also noticed another discrepancy as I went along. And by the way, I did check all the resistors values, and they were all pretty much within 10, maybe 11%. But I did notice a discrepancy here. That sure looks like it says 30 there. 30, 30, 30. It's kind of like my old rifle. But anyways, this, sorry, I'm gonna focus. This sure looks like 20s to me. 20 at 450. 30 at 450. So there's another little variation. I did order 20s. So anyway, back to patiently waiting. So rather than disturb the original solder on here, I chose to do it this way. Alrighty, onward. On this one, however, I did disturb the original solder. There's wires going under the board and all this stuff, and I left those in. The new wire on the new cap just wasn't long enough to go all the way down over here. So something had to be disturbed here. luckily it was just me, or it was me in this, or whatever. Okay, onward. All right, I've got the new really cool CE distribution cap wired up in there. Alrighty, now I'm going to plug it into my frankincense variac and slowly fire it up, see what happens. Alright, so yeah, I just got my finger signal generator, and here we go. I'm going to fire up my crazy frankincense, and I'll crank it up to about 20 degrees volts, that is. I don't have my current limiter here with me, so I'm going to go slow. But I really didn't do that much, and I feel fairly confident, and unless there's something else insane here, which could happen, it's going to be all right. Let's see, we're going to put up, it's at about 50 now. I can see the pilot lamp is glowing gently. I don't see any smoke or smells or anything. So let's try, it's at about 90. Nice slow start up. Okay. It's going to about 100 now. If something was developing, I would think that it's going to develop. I can hear a hum, a nice gentle hum in the speakers, so I'm going to crank it up. It's going to be about, that's about 120 there. And got a really nice strong sound. Nope. Got a tremolo too. Nice tremolo. Everything's working good. All right, I'm gonna just button this thing back up and give it a sound test. Checking the bias. Yeah, one tube is, they're settled down. You want to see about 18 milliamps on these from what I've seen. And got one going at 18 and the other's at 21. Not a perfect match, but not bad. Very good. I'm going to leave it alone. Awesome. On to the sound test. Okay, I've got the tone cranked, the volume up to about 4, and no tremolo. Very nice. Well, I had to do it. I got the volume and tone pegged. Wow. Here's some tremolo. Well, folks, that concludes my basic restoration of a clean 1964 Fender Princeton. It didn't need much, just some new electrolytics, power cord, checked all the tubes, and it's ready to go. It's beautiful. All right then. Last thing I'm going to do, just double check the bias, make sure that's good. So thanks for watching. Hope this helps.